Thank you, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee, I have a great pleasure in inviting august audience in celebrating the 60th birthdays of Professor Srinivas Kotyada and Professor Kalyan Chakraborty. Both of them have made significant contributions in the field of number theory. They have trained many students at all levels, and many of them are professional mathematicians in reputed institutions today. They are helping nature and empathy for fellow human beings make them actually distinct from others. We, who are closely associated with them, thought that the least could do as an expression of gratitude and admiration is to hold an event in their honor, and here we are today. I thank each and every one of you for gracing this occasion and joining us in celebrating their birthdays. I'm sure both birthday boys are also happy to see this gala day, sir. Thank you. I now invite the audience to share their thoughts and fond memories of Professor K. Srinivas and Professor Kalyan Chakraborty. So to start with, I would like to invite Professor Waldschmidt to share his thoughts.
Okay, I didn't understand that I was supposed to say something. So maybe I can start by saying some memory that I have with both of you. And I am very pleased to have the opportunity of doing so and being the first one here to do it. So I would like to ask with Srini, because the connection I have with both of them, I knew them for many years. I don't remember exactly when. But for Srini, among the many times that we met, I think one of the things which I remember with pleasure was when you suggested me to go to Bhubaneswar to see Professor Swanin Patanayak. And it was in 2010. You mentioned his name before. He was from the Institute of Mathematics and Application. And in fact, the trip was organized by Varadan Muruganandam, who was at that time in the NICER. And I visited the IMA, and I was very much impressed by the attitude of Swadin Batanayak. So he's someone that you knew very well, and I was very much impressed. I must say I do not know anyone who would behave like him, so dedicated to mathematics, to his students. That was really a very nice experience for me. So I am very much thankful to you for this opportunity that you gave me. Of course, after that, I came to Bhubaneswar, to Berhampur several times, but this was my first visit in 2010. For Kalyan, I am also thankful to you for a different reason, which is that you invited me to the conference on the special functions. It was in 2016, and at that time it was in Delhi, and I gave the memorial lecture which is taking place every year in this annual conference. And that was an interesting experience for me, because it was a domain of mathematics, special functions, which was not exactly my main domain, but it was not that far. And so I used to participate to this conference onwards, starting in 2016. And it is in 2010 that it was in Kottayam, in a college in Kerala, where the conference was organized. And this is where I was chairing a session with Professor M.A. Patan, who spoke on Lidstone polynomials, which is something I did not know at all. But I was very much interested by his talk, and after that I published several papers on this topic. So I owe this to you, and thank you very much for this opportunity that you gave me. And to both of you, I wish well, happy birthday and a good continuation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Before proceed, I would like to welcome the entire Kotiada family for this event. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now I would like to invite Professor Ramurthy to share his thoughts.
Thank you very much. I didn't know I was second. I was still preparing my anecdotes. It's a pleasure to felicitate Kalyan and Srini. I don't think I've ever considered them as friends. I have considered them as family members. And that's the way I was treated. I was treated by them as if I was their elder brother. And I'm grateful to that relationship. I remember they were both my postdoctoral fellows in Kingston. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think Srini spent at least 2 years. Oh, you spent 1 year. Okay, you spent 2 years. Okay, I got it. Okay. Anyway, I thought, yes. And I believe your son was born in Kingston. Yeah. So this quite memorable time. And I remember the one time Srini was cycling through Kingston, and he was always amazed at how fast houses come up. And the outer module of the house that was to be built was just being assembled, and he wanted me to take a picture of him on the cycle in front of that house, which was still in a modular form, not in the classical mathematical sense, but in a construction sense. and about 2 months later, the house got finished. And so he wanted me to take the same picture. I believe you have that picture exactly in the same location, and the house is all complete. So perhaps that gives you some indication of the fragility of construction in Canada. With the way these houses are built so fast. And I remember the time that you were there, I was always invited, both in Kalyan's case and Srini's case, I was invariably invited to their house for a sumptuous dinner, at least once a week, if not more. And dinners were great, thanks to Padma's culinary genius. And their son was still a toddler at the time, and it was a memorable moment. Same thing with Kalyan. I think I have these nice memories. We wrote a couple of papers together, and the time was very productive. And I have to say that over the years, even when they moved back to India, the time Kalyan was in Harishchandra Institute in Allahabad, Prayagraj now it's called, and Srini was back in IMSC. I always felt like I was coming, visiting my close relations, my younger brothers, and so I felt like that. And the hospitality that I always had, every time I came to Chennai, for example, there was the invariable avakai dinner that I had. The avakai pickle, which is the traditional mango pickle from Andhra Pradesh, and they feasted me, again, thanks to Padma and her culinary cuisine genius. I always had a treat every year, I would be sure of that. So over the years, our friendship has been pretty close, and I know that every time we had to go from here, I would piggyback on Srini's motorcycle, always afraid if I will get there in one piece, but it worked out. And I think I have to say that our mathematical collaborations that we had done on equidistributions of sequences, and with Kalyan, distribution of class numbers, I think I value. I think I wrote something on Maeda's conjecture, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. So we did quite a bit of work over time. I'm very happy to see, how they've been mentoring students, because I believe in education without fear and intimidation. Learning can only take place in a climate of freedom to explore, freedom to think, freedom to experiment, and it has to be in some form of a family kind of atmosphere. You can't have this professor-student hierarchy. I think I'm very happy to see both of them kind of have that relation with their students. I think that's a very important idea. So thank you very much for honoring me to be the second person to felicitate. It's an honor to do so. Happy birthday and many more happy returns. Yeah?
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your personal experience. Now I would like to invite Professor Alladi to say a few words.
I'm actually very pleased to be part of this conference. I know both mathematicians here, Srini and Kalyan, but I can't claim that I know them as well as the two previous speakers. But I'm happy that they asked me to be in this evening's felicitation function. I first met Srini in 2009. There was a conference on, I think it was called Ramanujan Revisited, at the campus of Infosys in Bangalore, organized by Bruce Burnt. His thesis advisor, K. Ramachandra, was quite frail at that time. And I was touched and impressed at Srini bringing Ramachandra to the lectures, holding his hand and attending to his every need. So very impressive Guru Bhakti, I should say. So that was my first sighting of Srinivas, and I was very much impressed at the way in which he took care of his guru. Of course, in later years after his move to math science, I've had interaction with him, but it became closer since last year when he was very much instrumental in the organizing and the success of a conference in my father's honor for his centenary. So that's when I got to know him very much. Of course, we have common interests in analytic number theory. We have not collaborated, but we have discussed quite a bit. And what is impressive, I think, about Srini, and I'm going to say something similar about Kalyan, is that in addition to research, they take a lot of interest in outreach. They organize meetings and mentor students. So 60, in my opinion, is a very young age to retire, or I'm 69 and I'm continuing. So I wish you the best in health, and I'm sure that you'll be very productive and continue to inspire younger mathematicians. With regard to Kalyan, I first met him, I think it was 2005 or 6 when I visited HRI at the invitation of Adhikari. I have followed his development quite closely. He has submitted papers to the Ramanujan Journal, so I've seen what he is doing. But in the last few years, I've been particularly impressed with what he has been doing, even at retirement or close to retirement. For example, in Kerala, he led a resurgence of mathematics at the Kerala school, and the way in which he is organizing events, not just conferences, various events, and mentoring students. I think this is extremely important. It's one thing to do good research and prove theorems, but in addition to that, we have to serve the profession in whatever capacity we can. It doesn't necessarily mean administrative capacity, but in various forms. and Kalyan definitely does that, as does Srini. So I wish both of them equally productive future, and I'm sure they are still mathematically vibrant, even though in a technical sense they are retired, but I don't think mentally they are retired. Mentally they're very vibrant, and we look forward not only to more theorems from them, but to their presence at many mathematical events. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Kumar Murthy to say a few words.
So by this stage, I can't say I'm surprised that I was asked to say a few words. So now I know I was expecting it. But I'm very happy to be here and to be part of this event, not only the felicitation, but the conference itself. I've known Kalyan and Srini since their student days, I believe. Kalyan at what was then called the Mehta Research Institute. And Srini just had finished at TIFR, and I met him maybe in IMSC. He had joined, and I've not collaborated with either of them, but I'm interested in their mathematics, and we certainly discussed mathematics over many years. It's interesting to see the passage of time from then when they were just beginning students, and now when they're already well established in their careers and have a forward trajectory. Both of them, I think, as Krishna says, have done not only mathematics, but I think it is important to emphasize again the service to the community. I think under Kalyan's leadership, the Kerala school was prominent. Several major international conferences were there. It was during the time of the pandemic, so we participated, but through Zoom. Nevertheless, they were pretty interesting conferences. And Srini, I think especially I've enjoyed and appreciated collaborating with him in matters related to the Ramanujan Mathematical Society, especially the JRMS. Many of you perhaps are involved in something connected to RMS in some form or other. It's a pretty amazing kind of entity, this JRMS is the brainchild of a few people, especially Professor Sampath Kumar, who passed away recently. And to bring about a new kind of journal of a high standard in India. And Srini and a bunch of others have been working very hard to realize that dream, and I appreciate that very much. It's not that the challenges are over, there are still challenges ahead, so we need to keep on doing this. Sometimes I think, you know, when we celebrate these, when we have these kind of occasions, and we say we're celebrating particular individuals, we're doing more than that actually. We're celebrating our discipline. And again, as Krishna said, in our discipline there is of course the scientific contribution, which is of course the heart of it, but also service to the community. In other words, how we mentor and how we build, not only mentor individuals but mentor institutions. And so it requires a sacrifice of time and energy to do that, and if we don't celebrate that, we won't encourage it. So while we celebrate Kalyan and Srini's mathematical accomplishments, it's also important to recognize their contributions to the profession, so as to encourage others to also follow in that, so that we build a really living, strong, vibrant tradition of not just number theory but mathematics in India. I'm very hopeful, I'm very optimistic that we're on a trajectory to do just that, and both of them and many of you also are participating in building that. So thank you very much for including me, and happy birthday, Kalyan and Srini.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Shankar Narayanan.
Good evening to all of you. I think I know Srini from the day one he joined TIFR. Officially he was a student of Professor Ramachandra. during his PhD days. Of course, we could collaborate maybe 3 or 4 works, initial days. And in fact, myself, Kalyan and Srini, we all were together in Kingston. So we had a good time in Kingston also. I think Kalyan, I met him first time in the Central Station, possibly 32 years ago. Then he and Purushottam, they came together to fetch us for some conference, if I remember correctly. And of course, I have been watching both of them from the day one of their research days. They have been progressing very well. And of course, I could play some good constructive part in their career too. I am very happy that they have progressed extremely very well. I wish both of them, the birthday babies, all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Adhikari, sir, to say a few words.
I am very happy to get the opportunity to say a few words at this felicitation function. So Srinivas, both of them I know for a long time. Srinivas because I used to go to work with Sankarnan at TIFR, and so I used to meet him as student in TIFR. Later I became some close acquaintance with him when he moved to IMSC. We used to go to many workshops and MTTS like programs to lecture together, and as Professor Wall-Smith said, same case, he encouraged me to go and lecture in the Institute of Professor Pattanayak. So Professor Pattanayak invited me once at his suggestion. And though we didn't do any research together, but we edited some conference volumes together. And as Professor Ramamurthy said, same with me. I mean, if I come to Chennai, so many times I used to visit his home for dinner and all. So with all these memories come this thing. So, and with Kalyan, I remember before I was going to Trieste, I just came here to for a short visit, and that time because I didn't have accommodation, I rented a room in a hotel. He came to know and he dragged me and he put me in his room, and then he slept outside somewhere. And then after I came back from there, then I became NBHM postdoc in here, and I was in Chennai. And that time I became very close because, as Ram says, he became like my brother. And so first not mathematics, but I initiated him to gym, and we were going to gym in Chennai, and he followed it very sincerely, more than me, and because I stopped at some point. Then once I moved to HRI, he came there, wanted to work with me and Ramakrishnan. His first paper he wrote with me, then remaining things he worked with, his thesis papers are written with Professor Ramakrishnan. And he helped us in many organizing conferences and all. Even in 1993, me and Ramakrishnan, we organized Professor Ramchandra's 60th birthday here, and Kalyan was there to help. And even last year, he helped us to organize some program on transcendental number theory at KSOM, where he was the director. and there of course we traveled many places together and many stories, so this is a long association. So I wish both of them for many, many decades of good mathematics, friendship, student, grand student and all, to contribute to number theory and Indian mathematics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Jyoti Sen Gupta to say a few words.
Yeah, good afternoon. I feel privileged to talk about Srini and Kalyan. I know Srini much earlier when he was a student in TFR. Of course, I didn't talk much with him then because he used to go from this side of the corridor and I used to pass the thing and smiling and going away. And then later on I came to know him when he, in one of the conferences organized here. So that time I came to know him, so we have some common interesting habits, so that's why we became very close. and Kalyan I met in HRI, I don't know when, some early conference. Deependra was there in his early years, so some workshop or conference. That was the first time I went to HRI, and he was kind of in charge, guiding us to the guest house and all that. And of course, they were also in Kingston like me, but because Kalyan is a Bong, I know some of his other friends who are from physics. Yeah, so it was very happy that you're celebrating their birthdays, and as who Ram said, I think that they have done a lot of mentoring, particularly with their teacher, Swadhin Pattanak. In fact, I think in this February conference in Mysore, he told me once it's not a story, it's a fact. They had gone to some remote village in Orissa, and there was some money to be taken, and Srini was there, and the thing got lost, and how the thing they recovered and everything, and throughout they maintained the equanimity. Yeah, so I've never collaborated with them, but that doesn't mean a thing. So I wish them all success in their future endeavors. That's all. I can't want to say more.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Stephen Bayer to say a few words.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful event. I'm always very happy to be here at IMSC. I have visited this place very often. I have known both of Kalyan and Srinivas for a very long time. Since 2002, I did my first postdoc in India at the Harishchandra Research Institute. And I think you had a faculty position at that time already. Yeah. And Srinivas, I met you, I think, in 2003. You came for a visit. I still remember that you actually looked into the Zelba class at that time. I think you did zero density estimates. Yeah, okay, I remember correctly. So research-wise, I'm closer to Srinivas because we are both in the analytic side. Mathematically, I had not so much to do with Kalyan. You are more algebraic. but we played football together at the HRI, so that was wonderful. However, I have to say I rather pretended to play football, so I'm rather technically weak, but he was a very good player. I think you were a striker at that time, scored a lot of goals. Also physically amazingly fit, just like now. I hope you keep your good health in the future. Yeah, with Srinivas, I have later started to collaborate actually. We have a paper together on the Epstein-Zeta function, zeros of the Epstein-Zeta function, a collaboration which is still going on, and we want actually to extend that work after this workshop. Also, I had the opportunity to have a lot of interesting talks about philosophy and culture with Srinivas. So I enjoyed that very much. And I appreciate both their humor, the humor which both of them have a good sense of humor, are very warm-hearted people, and of course as mathematicians. So happy birthday to both of you, and I wish you a lot of great results in the future, and keep your good health. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Tangadurai to say a few words.
Hello. Okay. They know me as a student days. Um, we had worked together in the sense of workshops, conferences, many schools we have taught together also, both. One memorable event I would like to share is when we were teaching MTTS. That one particular day, it was cultural day. The morning we decided, okay, we will do Mile Sur Mera Tumhara song. 10 people, just morning we decided, but everybody knows by heart that song. 10 people were together. I don't remember, you took, we two were there, and 10 more students together. It came out fantastic at the end. But no practice, nothing. Everybody did their job well. That is one. With Kalyan, I have played table tennis, not football. I cannot do. I have played many times table tennis. I wish them success and healthy, productive forthcoming days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Anupam Saikia to say a few words.
I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to express my thoughts. So, Srini, of course, I know maybe not so long ago, maybe 10 years ago, but Kalyan I've known for more than 2 decades, and I think it was a conference in HRI when I first met him, and I would say that he was still like an elder brother to me, and he's very energetic, always very positive, and he's very supportive to his students and young researchers. It is really remarkable, as many speakers have already noted. And he's been regularly organizing these conferences on class groups and number theory, and which has given a forum for all these young researchers to get together, and is giving a sense of community, belonging to a community. And so, and also I had the pleasure of playing table tennis with him. His backhand is also very strong, so I think lost to him very terribly. And Srinivas is always full of fun, and it's much more to him than just mathematics. I particularly remember one cultural evening at HRI where he performed with his own compositions, and it was really remarkable. So I wish them a very healthy life and many productive years in future. Okay, happy birthday.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Atul Dikshit to share his thoughts.
I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to say a few things about Kalyan and Srini. So, my first meeting with Professor Kalyan was in 2015 in one conference in Delhi. And when I first introduced myself to him, I said, "Hello, Professor Chakravarti," and he said, "Atul Kalyan." So he got rid of my apprehension then and there. And he has been very supportive and has trust in my work since the beginning. So he has encouraged his PhD students, Vivekananda Maji and Shomrup Banerjee, to be postdocs at IIT Gandhinagar, and I have really, they have collaborated with me on a number of different topics, and it has been really very nice for me to have these initial students come as postdocs when I had just joined as an assistant professor at IIT Gandhinagar. I remember Professor Anupam Saikia just mentioned about this conference on class groups of number fields and related topics that Kalyan organizes every year. And in 2018, he had invited me to give a talk. And I basically work in analytic number theory and combinatorics. And he said, please come give a talk. And I was like, I have only one slide on class numbers in my in my whole presentation that I had recently worked on. And he was like, yeah, you can present that. So it was on something related to R3 of n, the number of representations of n as sum of 3 squares, which was related to this class number. And he graciously invited me to give a talk there. And he has always been supportive of my work. As somebody mentioned, if you see Professor Kalyan's pictures on Facebook, you'll always have a dumbbell. He'll always have a dumbbell in hand. So, coming to Srini, again the same thing. When I had first written to him, I had said, "Dear Professor Srinivas," and he's like, "Atul, please call me Srini." So again, it was very nice of him. He has again been very supportive to me. We both, along with Professor C.S. Arvinda, are managing editors of Hardy Ramanujan Journal, and I'm still quite junior to them, but they always take care of me in every aspect. Like we handle submissions, how to communicate certain thing to the editorial board, whether I should do that or this. I always have I have Srini's guidance on every aspect of this editorial duty at Hardy Ramanujan Journal. I particularly remember about this having Hardy Ramanujan Journal enlisted into the Scopus thing. I had been assigned that duty to have Hardy Ramanujan Journal registered into Scopus, and it was a big, there was a big procedure that had to be followed, and I was not really good at it. And they both were very, very patient with me, both Arvinda and Srini. Later on, Arvinda and Srini both completed that work, and I was handling the submissions, but they really waited for like 6 to 8 months for that, and I'm really thankful to 1 year. Also, Srini is an excellent poet, and I have heard him present his poems in HRI, in cultural programs. So I really wish both of them many, many more happy years of good health and productivity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Balasubramanian to say a few words.
Thank you for this opportunity to say a few words about Srini and Kalyan. Let's start with the Srini. Probably in this audience, other than Shankar Narayan, I am probably the person who knows Srini for a longer time. And after I moved to Chennai, Srini joined as a student of Professor Ramchandra. And I was also, I did my PhD under Professor Ramchandra. Probably in Bombay, you were the last student, isn't it? In Bombay. And then he had a student after he moved to Bangalore. And since I used to go to Bombay frequently, or at least twice a year for various things, etc., and therefore I met Srini more or less at the time he joined. And Ramchandra was reasonably on high price of that student. And then afterwards he joined, after his postdoc, he joined IMSC, where we became a little closer. And as many of them pointed out so far, he has been not only a great mathematician, but somebody who has done a great outreach program and organizing conferences and being an editor, and in every one of the activities he has excelled. And I had some opportunity to be with him in arranging a couple of conferences. I think we had one Indo-Crypt from here, and then probably one conference on Ramchandra's thing, again here, which was edited by both of us. And the MAS Bara one, also we did, yeah, we had 3 conferences, and there I have seen how, normally I would be a lazy guy, and everything else would be exactly done by him. And regarding the Hardy Ramanujam journal, about which the previous speaker made a comment, I do remember how this journal started with exactly 2 editors and not extending it, and essentially that work being done by only one of the editor. And that one has really grown to a large extent now, essentially due to the editorial board now. And then of course we had a few papers together, myself, Shankar Narayan, Srinivas and Ramchandra. And yeah, now coming to Kalyan, probably I should say I am the only one who knows Kalyan for a long time. In fact, the Kalyan, after being here in IMSC for a few months, decided that his cup of tea is more like a modular forms, and moved to HRI to work with Ramki, even though, of course, his first paper was with Adhikari. And I used to go to Allahabad at that time a little more frequently than I went to Bombay. Probably at least every 2 months I would be there in Allahabad for some reason or the other. And therefore I had a good opportunity to interact with Kalyan. And whatever I was saying about Srini is equally holds good for Kalyan. But on the other hand, Srini, I have seen in person and I can say much more confidently, whereas about the Kalyan I have heard from others how he is a person interested in the outreach program and so on and so forth. The more I came to know Kalyan is when he took an administrative job in the Kerala School of Mathematics, where I could clearly see how a great administrator he is and how he has been able to arrange programs and to bring a place to a nice thing. And then it's not therefore surprising that the other places would definitely require his services, and the SRM in Vijayawada has done precisely that, and they definitely need a person, a senior person after Professor Kannan retired from there, to really lead the place well, and they have found it a very great person, Kalyan, there to do the job. And I'm happy to be here and talk about it, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Ramakrishnan to say a few words.
Not ready actually. Okay, thanks. Actually, I was not ready to speak in this occasion because of some personal reasons. But anyway, I know I can speak only about Kalyan because I do not know about Srini. Just I met him frequently when he came to HRI, and when I come to IMS, I see him. Other than that, not much interactions with Srini. But Kalyan was my first student, so when he left IMSA as a student and he came to HRI as a visiting student. So initially he was working with Adhikari. Then maybe, I don't know what happened, then he shifted talking to me. Then at that time, I always tried to help students, therefore I didn't find any difficulty in guiding him. So he took up some problem and then started working. So after finishing his PhD, Balu was his external examiner. For Viva, he came for his Viva in Allahabad. But technically, I cannot call him as a student, but though, because at that time I was not registered with Allahabad University. So Ramjilal was officially written there, but practically I was his student, first supervisor. He was my first student actually. So during his days in HRI, so he used to play badminton. They talked about table tennis. He used to play badminton. So I used to play with him as well. now I can't play. But those days I was so enthusiastic in playing badminton. But always, so while returning, the way he will return, he will deceive you that as if he is hitting hard, but it will be dropping in front of the net. Okay, most of the time I'll get frustrated. Then I don't know how he does it. Okay, he's really master in that one. I don't know. Still, he continues to do that, I think. So, I think as Adhikari told that he also does gym there. I think he's a very, I think sports activity is doing a lot. Even now, I think he does it. He's keeping it fit. So after finishing his PhD, he went for a postdoc with Ram and then came back and then joined as a faculty. And we started doing his research and then started guiding students as well. And now I am very happy to see him having a big group of students, and also he was the director at KSOM, as many people talked about his administrative ability. Right now he is in SRM. I am very, very happy that he has grown very well and established himself as a very good researcher and then mentor. I also see him, Srini, growing well, but I not very close interaction. So I wish both of them a long and healthy life, and wishing their career also to proceed and guiding, mentoring and activities in mathematics. Okay, I wish all success in your life. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Shantaleshram, sir, to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity to say a few words in this conference for Srini and Kalyan. So actually, when I was a student and I was in this MTTS program in 1998 at IIT Madras, that was when I met Srini first time. And up from that time onwards and after when I joined TIFR for my PhD and later on, so I've been in constant touch. So he has been a mentor friend and we've been quite close. So he is one whom I can talk about any issue, and he has been very friendly and helpful to me. So I'm really thankful for that. And of course, we have been trying to work together. We have been always thinking that we'll work on something, but only recently we got an opportunity to work on a project. Finally, it's taking shape with Anush and my students and so on. And so Kalyan, of course, I've so enjoyed this poems and shares from Srini, and and over many occasions in conference and beaches, so I've actually really interacted with him, so I really enjoyed his company. About Kalyan, actually, though I knew him during my, I met him first time during my PhD, but I came to know him much more closely in the last few years. So in fact, we have an opportunity to interact and travel to many places together, conferences, and so he's a very, nice to, he's also someone whom I can talk anytime, and he has been like helpful in many things, and I'm like, if I, and like sort of he has been also a mentor to me in a way. So I really, it's quite nice to, it's quite nice to be knowing them quite closely, and I'm wishing both of them a healthy and productive life ahead, and happy birthday to you once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Anirban Mukhopadhyay to say a few words.
Hello, so I cannot thank the organizer because I am one of them. So I know both Kalyan and Srini since my student days, and collaborated with both of them on several papers, and those are very useful. In fact, it was I cashed on them enough. So and especially Srini had been an elder brother to me, though he looks younger to me. And I'm quite close to his family. It's very nice to see his entire family here. Of course, one person is missing. So very happy birthday, and to both of you, and a great time ahead.
Thank you, sir. Next is Professor Vivek Maji. I would like to invite him to say a few words.
Thank you for giving this opportunity. So I just don't know how to start. Okay. So it was like I got a call from Anuj saying that we are planning to organize a conference for 60th birthday of Professor Kalyan Chakraborty and Professor Srinivas. Then immediately I said that, yeah, that will be a great opportunity for me to start at least one conference organizer so this is my first conference as an organizer. Okay, so I joined HRI in 2011. So at the beginning I was wondering like to whom to join, as a like under whom I should work. So then I asked my senior Jay Mehta, okay, how is Professor Chakraborty? So then Jay Mehta said that Kalyan sir is very friendly. You can talk to him anytime. You can discuss with him anytime. If you have any problem, he will always support you. Then immediately next day, I went to his house, went to his office. I said that, sir, I want to join as a PhD student. And immediately he also agreed. So that's how I started working with him as a PhD student. during my PhD days, one thing I observed that like Professor Chakraborty is so friendly, and even many PhD students also will agree that like both of them actually, Professor Srinivas and Professor Chakraborty, both of them has this quality that both of them are very friendly and very supportive to students. If any students is facing any problem, then they will be there always to support. So this is the quality like I really admire, and I really proud to say that. Okay. And I first met Professor Srinivas like when he was organizing a conference in KIT. Professor Ramurthy sir also was there in that conference. We went to that Sun Temple. We had fond memories of that conference. So, and Professor Srinivas also was very like supportive during my PhD days. Like we used to meet in many conference. So, wish you both a very happy birthday and a good health. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vivek. Next, I would like to invite Professor Brindavan Sahu to share his thoughts.
Good evening. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to speak here. Both of them are like my elder brothers. I know them. Srinivas, I know, I think from October 1998, when Professor Swadhin Patnaik organized a BSc level mathematics interactive camp at Kalahandi, a very remote part of the Odisha, which around maybe 500 kilometers from Bhubaneswar, that nobody want to travel. I think those days must be affected by Maoist activities, I guess, in Kalahandi, Koraput. So that time Professor Srinivas went, and there are other mathematicians who taught us for, I think, 4 weeks in the whole October, this Dasara break. And after that, that time I was in, I think, at GM College, I think, where Srinivas also did his BSc, I guess. And also that we moved to the Sambalpur University for masters. And in Sambalpur University, the School of Mathematics, the PG departments, has two notable alumni. One of Professor Gadadhar Misra, and other is K. Srinivas. After masters, we went to TIFR for PhD. So that was very kind of excitement for the junior students to enroll in Sambalpur University, and it was a kind of guidance of Professor Swadhin Patnaik, who used to motivate students to go out and do research. And I remember that Srinivas used to go to Odisha very frequently, I think yearly once or twice or more than that. Recently, I think last December, we went to a place called Dungripali, is very remote, and where we stay in a school building for a week and taught some of the school children for I think, in a week, something like that. It was very encouraging. I think his activity in Odisha is quite well known for this outreach activity and upbringing students to the national level and do like that. So thank you very much. I think Srinivas will continue in particular in Odisha or other parts of India also. And I know Kalyanada, we call Kalyanada in HRI. I joined, I think, 2002. I think you taught us this analysis course in our coursework, I remember, in 2002. And everybody told Kalyanada play nice footballs. Also, I also used to play football for some time. Maybe you were a very good striker and I was good a defender. I had a very good fight in football ground. So your encouragement to the students is quite well known, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for supporting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Kamlakya Mehta to say his experience.
So thank you, the organizers, for inviting me here. And I'm very happy to come here because IMSC is always a home to me, because I did my PhD
here. And I wish a very happy birthday to Professor Kalyan and Professor Srinivas. So I met Professor Chakraborty in few events during my PhD. And I know Professor Srinivas because I did PhD here. In fact, I know him before because I was a student in Institute of Mathematics and Applications, Bhubaneswar, where Professor Swadhin Patnaik was teaching, and Professor Srinivas was quite frequent to our institute. So he used to take like several classes. Sometimes we learned number theory also from him, me and my friends. And one of my friends now who became my wife, so she also sent birthday wishes to Professor Srinivas. And I think Professor Srinivas is a multi-talented person. So other than mathematics, he knows several languages. And in IMSC, we used to have two big events. One is this Hindi Day, and another is Freshers. And the best part of that event is Professor Srinivas Sayari. So I hope we can look forward to something at least in today. And during my time in IMSC also, I had lots of discussions in mathematics, though I haven't collaborated yet, but I hope it's not too late. Still we can collaborate in near future. And that's all I would like to say. Thank you again.
Thank you, Kamalakya. Next, I would like to invite Professor M. Subramani to say a few words.
Good evening to everyone. So I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Srinivas for his tremendous support, both academically and personally so far. Without his immense guidance and encouragement, pursuing my academic career would have not been possible, seriously. So thank you, sir, for believing in me and for the opportunity to work with you for my PhD thesis. Throughout my doctoral studies, I often make mistakes in mathematics, but Professor Srinivas was always patient in explaining concepts to me. He often says it's okay to make mistakes inside the office, his office, but be careful not to make them when you go outside. I will always remember how he dedicated an entire month sitting every day with me to help me revive my draft, taught me step by step how to write a research article. I never saw him lose his temper. Instead, he always took me the time to explain things with kindness, not just to me, but to everyone. Thank you, sir. So, happy birthday, sir. I will also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Kalyan for his constant encouragement. He always graciously accepted my request and provided me with the opportunity to attend ICCG and FRD conferences. Even if I miss something, the next time when he meets me, he always asks me, why didn't you come to attend the last conference? His generosity and support have meant a great deal to me. Happy birthday, sir, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Subramani. Next, I would like to invite Professor Soumyaru Banerjee to say a few words.
Okay, I am Soumyaru Banerjee, former student of Kalyan Chakraborty. Anyone may not know me actually. That's why I have just introduced myself. Okay, so I have joined HRI around 2013, and I became the fourth PhD student of Professor Kalyan Chakraborty. So let me share a few memories maybe with Professor Kalyan sir. So first one is like when I have joined at HRI, so I was little bit confused that where I should join and which professor I should join. And then I have talked with Professor Vivekanand Maji and Allap Kanti De, that was my senior there at HRI. And they told me few options there, okay? And there are many options like who actually working on number theory. And then finally, we have decided to go one by one professor. And initially, I met Professor Kalyan Chakraborty. And then, and at that point, the problem is that my English was actually very poor at that point. And I went to Professor Kalyan Chakraborty, and in the first line, he has told that, okay, so beside your working in number theory, you should play sports a lot. And that line actually affects me more because I actually like to play sports. So at that point, I have decided, okay, I need to do PhD with Professor Kalyan sir because I need that much support to play sports actually. So that is the first thing I should share. And the second thing is that like we have enjoyed many times, I mean, I have enjoyed many times at HRI with Professor Kalyan sir. We have talked together at pantry, and we have like cooked at Kalyan sir's house many a times together. I mean, make dinner for us, and lots of things we have done. And the last thing what I want to tell about Professor Kalyan sir is that like I should tell that like I mean, like in the first year, after first year, I was quite impressed with Professor Kalyan sir, like how we, like the way of talking and the presence of Professor Kalyan sir. Actually, after that, I actually admired him a lot, and that I should tell over here. And second thing, I just want to tell about Professor Srinivas sir that I have only met 2 or 3 times at HRI and Hong Kong University during my postdoc. And yeah, so that's it. That's from my side. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, Soumyadeep. Next, I would like to invite Professor Sudhir Pujari to say a few words.
Thank you, Usha. I was thinking to just, not to speak anything and just sit down, but I thought it's not, especially it's a birthday of both of them. Before I start, I should say that I have been inspired and helped by most of the audience present today. In different ways, sometimes you know, sometimes you don't know. Silently I have inspired by you. Thank you all. But for today, this is about these 2 gentlemen sitting on the dais. So let me start with Professor Chakraborty. I know, first time I met him in just after my MSc by the kind help of Professor Ramakrishnan and Professor Thongadurai. On advice of Professor Jawan Meher, I got a chance to get into HRI as a visiting student, and there I met him. But at that time, I think I didn't interact with him much, but the first real interaction started. He came for the defense of my PhD, and before that I went as a postdoctoral fellow to HRI. And once I went there, I saw he is super active doing gym and always talking about people in the tea place, about sports, how someone can stay fit, how important it is to be fit. And I thought, oh, this is the man. Because I am at least in past, I am like super active in sports. Like every day, even my PhD time, I used to play 4 hour, 5 hour, a day, like regular basis. Then we started a seminar, and then in that seminar, I was the person, if no one getting to speak, I will be speaking, and he will be always encouraging, and then he will help me to find speaker also. And then so for so on, because of this our sporty activity, we got very close to each other. Always he encouraged, and always talk about positive thing. Every day morning he wake up, run, and then do some physical activity, and that inspired me a lot. Because the reason, any simple activity, doing in a very systematic manner for a long period of time is extremely hard. I have tried several activities for many different ways, and I have failed in several activities. So thanks for even now inspiring. I have been trying to follow this to doing some physical work on or run a little bit every day, but I haven't been success yet. So thank you, sir, for inspiring in Dachfram. When it comes to Professor Srini, I have been knowing him for a long, long time. Just after my 12th, I took admission into GM College. And the reason I choose maths, I thought that you don't have to study much, because I thought that you listen in the classroom and then you can do well in exam, and other subject I thought that you have to read more, but which is not true, by the way. Later on that I realized. So once I joined there, within a couple of months, I got selected into a program which was generally used to organize by Professor Swadhinananda Patnaik. That program that time used to known as interactive training in mathematics. And I was not much into study, to be honest. I used to do more extracurricular activity like different sports, music, and all sorts of things. So once I selected to this program, and I met him in that program. And one of the things, if you are from a little bit rural part, the whole thing is to study. Everybody is advise you when you are especially in 10th, it is to be a board that you study, 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 and if you play, you are not good, you do any other thing, you are not good, only thing you have to do is study. So when I went to this interactive program, Professor Srini and Professor Swadhinananda Patnaik, they are the kind of the first person who appreciate my music. Like we used to have some cultural evening at night, and I thought, wow, someone is saying if you play some instrument or something, and someone is saying good about it. And in that way, we have a very started getting friend to each other, and all of you know how friendly he is. And how ignorant I was, just to give you an idea, I remember that in the first day of that program, Professor Swadhin Patnaik came, and he was announcing what are the subjects they will be teaching. And one of the subjects supposed to be analysis. I thought I have heard this algebra and so forth, so on, and what this analysis, what they are going to teach. I was very excited. So what I'm trying to say is I was very, very ignorant about the subject, so-called, different subject in mathematics. So after that, I joined MSc in Utkal University, and from that program itself, I got very close with Professor Swadhin Patnaik. And time to time, once I came to Bhubaneswar, all the time I will be running to Institute of Mathematics so that I can talk with him and listen to him, or what he says, what he do. I generally try to observe him. And he will be one of the very, very frequent visitor to that institute. Once he came, and that time they proved this about zeros of Selvar class degree 2 L function, infinitely many zero on the critical line. And he gave a lecture on there. And I went at that time I was master, and I went to attend that program. And after his lecture, I thought myself, this is just complex analysis, because in MSc first year we had a course complex analysis, and I could follow his lecture. And then I discussed with him, and I started looking at his, he gave me a copy of his paper, and I started looking at the paper. And that is my first interaction to any article, research article. And at that time, I time to time look at that paper, and then after some time, that paper I didn't study in detail. And then I joined, after a couple of years, I joined in the PhD program under Professor Kaninika Sinha at ICNTRT. And as many of you were saying, he have been organizing a lot of program. And one of them, in 2013 or 14, he organized a program at KIT, University Bhubaneswar, a AIS program on analytic number theory. And that was, and that program had even now a huge effect on me. Why? Because in that program, I generated 3 problems, and I'm going to tell little bit. Professor Ramurthy, Kumarmurthy, both were speaker. Professor Srini was speaking. Stephen Baer was there. So by the end of program, I have 3 questions to think of on my own. Some of them I could solve, and one of them at least were already solved in great generality. So in that particular program, Professor Srini was lecturing this Hardy's result that when Hardy proved that the Riemann zeta function has infinitely many zero on the critical line. And in fact, this is my kind of the way I came to analytic number theory, the classical analytic number theory. So in that lecture, I think it was 2 or 3 lecture. In one of the, I think at the end, he mentioned a result of Professor Ramachandra. It was about the lower bound. If a Dirichlet series has this property, it was a very general result that lower bound is this. And when he was, because I already studied little bit his paper on Selberg class of degree 2, I knew little bit technique what to do about this upper bound, lower bound. But the moment he mentioned the result of Professor Ramachandra, I was like in heaven, because I thought this is a super general result. A Dirichlet series have this, you can get the lower bound. One bound is done. Only someone has to do the other side of the upper bound. And I asked him that why do you stick to degree 2? It looks like a big deal. You see, at that time I was in my 3rd year of PhD, or so. I think I was in 3rd year, I don't remember exactly. So he told, yes, but degree 3 is very hard. And I asked him what is the difficulty. And he explained me that you have to estimate this exponential sum. And okay, then we all went back. And then I started working on that exponential sum, and I used to, in fact, write some email. Sometimes he used to delay a lot to replying the email, because you see I'm a 2nd year, 3rd year guy, and writing this email of degree 3L function estimating, zero. Now I understand. But after some time, also he also sent me some document to look at. But after a year or so, then Professor Javan Meher also joined us. And in fact, in that process, with a lot of struggle, later on we proved that we collaborated with him, jointly with him. We showed that if you look at the Dirichlet series of the half integral weight modular form, it has infinitely many zero. And in fact, that is the first such result correspond to half integral weight modular form. And more than that, that is the first result I learned about Professor Ramachandra. And then I started slowly digging, and then I realized that the result proved by Professor Ramachandra and Professor Balasubramaniam are incredibly of high standard. They are in irrespective of the journal. Then slowly I start. Even now, I time to time go back and read these works which are sitting down somewhere and not that well known. So basically, this my experience or the interest towards analytic number theory actually came from the program he organized in the AIS program at KIT, and I'll be always grateful to you for that. And more than that, this is little bit the mathematical side, that how this program organized by him had a huge impact on me towards the classical side of analytic number theory. So apart from that, as I say, I have been knowing him for several years. So I generally, we have been in touch wherever I am, irrespective of in India, outside India. We have been in touch over phone. I asked him many times if I am under certain difficulty, then I seek his advice. Many times he say what to do, what not to do. And as you all know, he also do lot of extracurricular activity. Even now, all of you know the humor generally he has. If you talk with him, within 5-10 minutes he will say something, and all of you, and it will generate a lot of laugh. And so, for me, he has been acting as a mentor for a long time now, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank him. And I would like to wish both of them a very happy birthday, and may they get whatever they deserve in life. And thank you very much for all your support and help to my career.
Next, I would like to invite a special person to this hall, Mr. Sridhar Kotiada, to say a few words.
Hello. I'm younger brother of Srinivas Kotyada. It's a long association. It can't be completed in just one session. It need complete 2-3 days. But I'll just shorten it out. I mean, he's like a father figure to us. Okay? We are 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and we always looked up to him. He was quite studious, and he always used to ensure that we are in the right track. A lot of things we have learned, and a lot of not so good things also we have learned from him. But it was always a respectful association with him. Me and my brother and my sisters, and my father is also here. Thanks a lot, Bhaiya, okay, for everything you have done, for our family, for me personally. And although you are retiring, it's a new beginning for you. We're looking forward for that. All the best to both of you.
Thank you very much, sir. If anyone else is interested to share his thoughts, please come forward. Yeah. I would like to invite Ms. Padmavati.
Happy birthday, Professor Srinivas, Professor Kalyan sir, both of you. I am a second year PhD student at IIITTM Kanchipuram. I met Professor Srinivas last June at NIT Calicut. I was reluctant to discuss mathematics with senior mathematicians. He asked me to meet and instructed me to meet mathematicians and introduced me to professors to discuss mathematics. From that day, he always inquired very often about my progress and always suggests problems to work with mathematicians. Thank you, sir, for your kind generosity. I hope to receive your guidance in the days to come. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Padmavati. Next, I would like to call myself to share a few things. Actually, it's a bit emotional moment for me that Srini sir is turning 60 and very soon he will be retiring from this place. I joined SRTM University, which is in Maharashtra, in the year 2010 with my MSc degree. And I was interested in doing research in number theory. I wanted to see who are the people who are working in the number theory, particularly in India. Then I learned that there are a couple of places in India like TIFR, IMSC, HRI, IISc and many other places where number theory is pursued. I started contacting all these places, but only from IMSC I got a positive response. Thanks to Professor Balsubramanian's 60th birth anniversary that I was invited to visit here. So that shows the importance of such birthday events. So that is when I met Professor Waldschmidt and discussed with him. He suggested few names to me, and that was a turning point in my life, sir. I met Professor K. Srinivas at that time. He almost interviewed me for 3 days and gave me a paper to read. In my next visit, I presented him my understandings of that paper, and from his expressions, I could figure out that I did well. Then during my vacations, I would make it a point to visit IMSC, take up problems, and show my progress to him in my next visit. My entire PhD was done in IMSC under his mentorship. Later, I also did my postdoctoral research at IMSC with Professor Srinivas. I have no words to thank Professor Srinivas enough for helping me in my academic part. I have learned many things from him. Actually, if I turn and think of my life, then in one line I can say that my life before meeting him and after I'm meeting him is completely different. So I learned many things from him. As many people already express these things, he is a very kind person and a very great human being. He concerns with everyone, even from a sweeper to the head of that institute or the place. He is always concerned about every person. What I observed about him is he lives his life in the life of his students and fellow beings. I have been working with him for more than a decade, and what I have observed about him is that what I can analyze is he has done mainly three things in his life. First is mathematics, second is shairi, poetry, and third is he just spread love among the people and the society. So thank you very much, sir, for being there for us always. I wish you a very happy and happy life ahead. Keep illuminating the lives of young minds. Thank you once again. I also wish a very happy birthday to Kalyan sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all for sharing your beautiful memories and kind words. Let us move to the next part. Now I request Professor Waldschmidt to present a token of love to Professor K. Srinivas. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Ramurthy to present a token of love to Professor Kalyan Chakrabarti, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I request Professor Kalyan Chakrabarti, sir, to share his thoughts on this occasion.
Good evening to all of you, and let me begin by showing my gratitude, my heartfelt thanks to the organizers, Anuj Jakhar, Shauli, Anirban, and all the organizers who today took part in organizing this conference. It's real honor for me, and really grateful to all of you to organize this event, this conference, and to the Institute of Mathematical Sciences and IIT Madras for being host of this event. So let me share a few things which might help the young minds who are here. So I joined Institute of Mathematical Sciences, as Professor Balasubramaniam pointed out, from University of Bardhaman after doing my MSc. I had an opportunity there to learn mathematics from some of the best teachers at that time in the university. Then I came here. I was a real novice in the sense that those days in the universities we didn't have those MTTS and AIS and all those programs, which is now the young students, they get this opportunity. English was not good also, even in Hindi I was not very good. So came here as a novice, and actually IMSC was going through a transition period at that time. And there was turbulence in my career, and was not knowing what to do at that time. And then I must mention some of the names here which comes to my mind, that at that time one of our colleague, which 656 of us joined, Manisha Kulkarni. She is now a faculty at IIIT Bangalore. She was the most, always stood by me at that time. And of course I have to name Professor V. Balaji is at CMI, Vishwanath, and Anand is not here. So they always supported me that, you have to continue. And at that time, that was a time was difficult for me. And I started this journey from Institute of Mathematical Sciences, and it is a real feeling for me that today this program is at Institute of Mathematical Sciences only, and I'm here. And then I continued, and at that time Professor Adhikari and Professor Ramakrishnan, they were, I think, postdoctoral fellows here, and they just came forward to me and told that, you have to continue, and whatever assistance is required, Professor Balasubramaniam was always there behind supporting. And so fortunately what happened at that time, this Mehta Research Institute, which is now Harishchandra Research Institute, was taken over by DAE, and that started as a proper research institute. And Professor Adhikari joined as a faculty there, and Professor Ramakrishnan went there as a postdoctoral fellow. And they taught me personally. Professor Ramakrishnan, I still remember, used to teach me by showing, by putting paper and pen to me that what is the modular form and how these things are. Professor Adhikari was always there behind, as Professor Adhikari pointed out, the first paper in my, this journey was written with him only. And then they shifted to Mehta Research Institute, and I went there. I got a fellowship there to continue my work with Professor Ramakrishnan, even though he was just a postdoctoral fellow at that time. And I have to say a few things about that. Professor Ramakrishnan did not mention much, but I was staying in his house, where he took a house there. He used to cook for me, and he's a very good cook, by the way, like pongal and this dosa and idli or whatever. Like we go back after being at MRI, and then he will cook, and then we eat together again, come back in the morning. That's how I continued there. It was a wonderful MRI at that time. It was a small family, and we used to be concerned about each other and helping each other out. And then things slowly came into the shape, and continued my work, and got enough results and learned mathematics also to have a PhD degree. And Professor Balasubramaniam was there, Professor Raghunathan was there as the externals there. And then I got a postdoctoral fellowship here. Professor Balu was again helpful in that thing at IMSC. And then in between, Professor Ramurthy and Kumar Murthy used to visit there. I will be always behind them, that this is what I'm doing, and if in case any kind of suggestions are there, always Ram and Kumar, just like many of us have, many of ours, after me also, lots and lots of students from here got benefited from mathematically, mentally, spiritually, physically, from all these fronts. So then I went to Queen's University 1999. And then not just, mathematically, he taught me everything. I mean, like how to write a paper, how to give a presentation, and what are the questions to be asked. And then he told about that how we invited him for dinner. But then, almost every week, if we are not calling, Ram will say that come to my home. I'll make dosa and I'll make all the things. Even now, last time when I went to visit him, he called me to his home and he taught me few things that Kalyan, you can make this, you can make that, because I also cook for myself. These initially, these few people had a huge impact in my, I think, from Professor Ram, I have learned, that how the mental peace is one of the first and foremost thing to have it, and some spiritual thoughts also from him. And then one thing about that, which Ram will remember now. Ram likes playing lawn tennis very well. So people told that I thought that badminton and lawn tennis are not too different. So I was telling him that I'll come, I'll play with you. But within few days he found out that Kalyan cannot play lawn tennis, because it's not that easy for me to play lawn tennis. And so always with there at Kingston, I visited Kumar also at University of Toronto, and so they were always supporting, even after that also. From Professor Adhikari, I have learned one thing. I mean, I remember he used to tell me that, he took me when this period was going on for me here at IMSC. One day he told me, Kalyan, just get up. He took me to the gym and he told that, this is one thing that you have to continue. I still remember that one. He told that, age is just a number. And if you follow what I learned from Ram and what I learned from Professor Adhikari, that do the physical part, and with that, this mental thing also will be balanced, and your research and all other things, you'll be grateful to people. Like I cannot express my gratitude, like all of you taken that much of trouble, that much of time, Anuj and all these people, to arrange these ones, all the dignitaries, all these famous mathematicians, I mean, whom I admire a lot, and they are here today for this conference. I mean, I'm so grateful. I mean, life has given so much. So this is a little bit about the mentoring thing. I mean, I have learned from everybody. Even now, I learned from my newest students, like at SRM also from them. And then my students. My family, people know a little bit about me. The students are my family. And not only my direct students, even there are many students like Arvind is here, Lalit is there. All these people, I consider them as my students. Not just direct students, but they are always with me. And not only just in sports ground or anywhere else, any kind of difficulties they have, they shared with me. I shared my problems with them. Krishna is also here. So I have always learned from my students. Whatever, I have absolutely no hesitation in telling. I owe today whatever I am here is due to my students and these mentors whom I was naming. I would have been nothing. I mean, just imagine at that time if Professor Adhikari, Ramki, Professor Balasubramaniam, Ram, Kumar and all would not have come. Today I would not have been there here. So I have received a lot of love and affection from all my students, all my friends, my colleagues, my mentors, and that's why I have learned that how important are the students. And I get much more. Today, look at that, my students, they have arranged this program for us, for me and Srini. And this is a tremendous thing, I would think. I mean, it's real, we are privileged to have this program for us arranged by our students. And every time, whatever is there, if I call up any of them, they are always there for me, whether my new students or my personal issues, whatever is there, they will be always eager. Today, Jay Mehta's name was taken, he's not here today, but he was my first student. And even now, I have to prepare some popular talk slides. I tell him that content vaguely, and he will come up within 5-6 days the slides. He said, have a look at it if it is okay for you. So these are the students. So I'm really grateful, very thankful to all of you, and showering this love, affection,
and this, this great event that you have really arranged for us, and I will be ever grateful to all of you. Thank you so much, and I really owe everything what I have to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kalyan sir. Now I invite IMS's birthday boy to share his thoughts. Now the stage is yours, sir.
So I think, okay, first of all, let me thank the organizers and the delegates for patiently spending last 1.5 hours or more than that, listening to various reminiscences, various thoughts of good words that people shared on us. Thank you, everyone. Okay, and since we are getting little late, so I will not talk too much. Briefly, I will mention the main points. So, I mean, 60 is some number that I'm telling myself that I'm turning 60, okay? And other than that, I don't feel that, all right? But there is, I mean, as it's also a nice occasion to reflect on what one has done, what one is doing, and what are the things that one needs to do in the time to come. So when I reflect on the things that have operated on me, the first and foremost thing that comes to my mind is the blessings of my parents. I mean, the live example is my father. He is 87 years old, and he still plays tennis, okay? I mean, he used to play tennis in Leelavati until very recently, but the board has become pretty bad now. And so that is one of the, very big source of inspiration. My mother, for example, my father is a very disciplined person. He will sleep at 9 o'clock. I will sleep at 2 o'clock in the night. And my mother used to be awake with me after he sleeps. So she will prepare tea for me. She will study some novels, some, short stories and things like that, both of us. And whenever my father will wake up, he will just shout at us and he will sleep back, saying that you sleep early, get up early. Okay. We never followed that, all right. So, and my father never asked me to go for a job or anything like that. He always told us, all siblings, that do whatever you want to do. I am there. Don't worry. So that is the biggest support that we have got at home. And then, luckily, I mean, I had the blessings of 2 good teachers in school days, which I will always remember and mention whenever I have August gathering like this. One is Shri Budeswar Singh, and another is Shri Bachchu Singh. So Budeswar Singh used to teach us mathematics, science, and all the subjects in school, and Bachchu Singh sir used to teach us Hindi. So since many of you have said that, I'm a poet or something like that, which I'm very happy to hear that. So it's because of, the teachings that we have got in schools from Bachchu Singh sir. And then, when I went to university, it is Professor Swadhin Patnaik who really taught us mathematics. Okay, what mathematics is, the beauty of it, and all these things. I mean, he would start from some very hard theorem and will come back to definition of continuity and then limits. I mean, go down and then he will start from here again. So that's the kind of training that he used to do. And not only just mathematics, he was open to many discussions, and we have learned quite a lot from him. All right. After that, Professor K. Ramchandra in TIFR, whom, I mean, I saw, I mean, if I can say that, you know, there is one person who thinks mathematics 24/7, it is Professor Ramchandra's name that comes to my mind, first and foremost. Nothing else, only mathematics. And it was very good when we discussed one-to-one with him. It's very clear. And then during my PhD days, I used to meet Balu, Professor Bal Subramaniam, whenever he used to come to TIFR. And many times I will tell him that I feel like leaving TIFR and coming to IMSC. Okay? Then he would say, you are with Professor Ramchandra, why do you want to leave this? Sometimes I tell him that, you know, he gives me a problem in the morning, by afternoon he wants me to solve it, okay? And if I don't solve it, by evening he comes and looks at my notes, how much I proceeded, and it's a daily routine, okay? So I'm, you know, I would rather, you know, and Balu, I found that he's very careless, carefree kind of thing, you know. So I told him that I would like to work with him. He told me, see, Ramchandra has such a vast experience. Just 5 years only you spend with him. I mean, it's as if it's 5 minutes. He said, just 5 years. And it really worked. I mean, after some time I understood him, Professor Ramchandra, and then I was very happy with him, and you know, he was also happy with me later, okay? So it went on like that, and then and then comes, you know, in my life, the association with Ram, the association with Michelle. I mean, they're big professors, but they have been so close to me and so much, you know, their blessings on me. Alberto Parelli, Alexander Ivich, Matti Jutila, Professor Dejue, I mean, Jomak, okay, I call him Jomak. So, Shankar Narayanan, for example, I suffered in his hands more than I suffered with Ramchandra, okay. Ramchandra would, you know, say that, you know, you write this paper and show it to Shankar, okay. And then I will write this, then Shankar will say, okay. That time we didn't have computers, so we had to write it by hand. I would show it to Shankar, look at this. Yeah, these symbols are not good, yeah, change the symbols, he will say, okay. I will change the symbols, give it to him again. Shankar, are you around? Okay, okay. Then I would write it again, make a second draft, give it to him. Yeah, this epsilon things, you make it delta, okay. Second version gone, 15, 16 pages or something like that, okay. 5 times I will write, then I will get bugged up and I will say, Shankar, this is the last time. If you have to say anything, tell me here itself, I am not going to correct anymore. What, yaar? I used to write 8 drafts of each paper. You are only writing 5 drafts and you are, you know, getting agitated. So Shankar was like that. He was very particular, very meticulous to look at, you know, I mean, these things. So I owe quite a lot to all these people. They have, you know, I mean, I have learned quite a lot, and I have learned how to rectify the mistakes. You know, one learns quite a lot. And then finally, my students, my association with my colleagues, my younger, you know, particularly my younger colleagues, and their love to me, their affection, their readiness to mingle with me, to be with me, to discuss with me. This is what, you know, makes, you know, the life very lively and all. They remember, and whenever there is a problem they have or anything like they want to discuss, they think of me. Many of my colleagues, even if we are not talking, I mean, we did not talk for quite some time, but when we talk, as if, you know, we have not parted away for quite some time. So this is a kind of, love bondage that God has given us, with my associates, which I cherish quite a lot, which I respect quite a lot, and which I try to reciprocate quite a lot. All right. So there are a couple of things when one learns in school, and then now I am turning to a little bit of Hindi with apologies to those who do not understand me. So there are a couple of things that I have learned very early in my childhood. In our schools, many nice quotations, are written, like even now in schools. So one of the things, जिंदगी जिंदा दिली का नाम है, मुर्दा दिल भी क्या खाक जिया करते हैं. So it is not just a share or something like that. It has a meaning. I mean, so that is something I tried to imbibe, tried to जिसको आत्मसात करना. I have tried quite a lot, Other thing is, like, meet mila. Meet means friend, mitra. Meet mila to mili nahi kya vastu tumhe, nahi mila yadi meet bandhu जीवन में तुमने क्या पाया. Very, very thought-provoking, very nice and very meaningful thing, which affected me quite a lot. Then my teacher used to say, एक दिन भी जी मगर इंसान बनकर जी, मत पुजारी बन स्वयं भगवान बनकर जी. It's a very profound statement that really I mean it changed me quite a lot. Okay. मित्रता बड़ा अनमोल रतन है, इसे कब तौल सकता धन. मैत्री की बड़ी शीतल छाया, मैत्री की बड़ी सुखद छाया, शीतल हो जाती है काया. कैसा होगा पापी वह नर, जो पाकर भी ऐसा तरवर हो, पास खड़ा कटवाता है, खुद आप नहीं कट जाता है. तो इस तरह की जो शब्द अगर आप बचपन में सुनते हैं बहुत ध्यान से, तो प्रभाव तो करता ही है. और मेरे ख्याल से यही सब का नतीजा है. आप जो मुझे देख रहे हैं, जिस शख्स को, मेरे ख्याल से ये सब कभी ना कभी काम किए होंगे दुआओं के अलावा. और आपकी मोहब्बतों का मैं सिर्फ एक ही शेर में कहना चाहूँगा, जिस अजीज इतना ही रखो कि जी संभल जाए, अब इस कदर भी ना चाहो कि दम निकल जाए. मिले हैं, ताली बजा सकते हैं आप चाहें तो उसके लिए. अजीज इतना ही रखो कि जी संभल जाए, अब इस कदर भी ना चाहो कि दम निकल जाए. जिए हैं यूं तो बहुत, आओ अब जिए यूं भी. जिए हैं यूं तो बहुत, आओ अब जिए यूं भी, के रूह गर्मी अनफास से पिघल जाए, सांस से. जिए हैं यूं तो बहुत, आओ अब जिए यूं भी, कि रूह गर्म अनफास से पिघल जाए. मोहब्बतों में अजब है दिलों को धड़का सा, न जाने कौन कब कहाँ रास्ता बदल जाए. अजीज इतना ही रखो कि जी संभल जाए, अब इस कदर भी ना चाहो कि दम निकल जाए. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मेरे दोस्तों. I very thank you very much for all your blessings, and we hope your blessings will always be showered on both of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful talk. I thank you everyone for being present here. Now we conclude this felicitation program. Please join us in cutting the cake inside this hall itself. Please give us 5 minutes for arrangement. we request, please be with us for 5 minutes. A video is going to play, which is done by students of Srinivas sir and Kalyan sir. Please, we would like you to enjoy it till the cake comes. I would like to invite all the people to be on the dais. Please join us in cutting the cake. I request Michelle sir to be on the dais, Professor Ramurthy sir, Professor Kumar Murthy sir. Shauli ma'am, please be on the dais. Please. Anirban sir. And all the organizing committee members, please join us. We also request sir's family, please join us on the dais. Adhikari sir and Jyoti Sen Gupta sir, please join us on the dais. I also request to join Desve sir on the dais. I request Professor Stephen Bayer, please on the dais. Shanta sir, please. I also request Professor Anupam Saikia sir, please join us sir. I also invite all the organizing committee members, please join us immediately. I request Pralay sir, sir please join us. Sir, please join us. I request Tanga sir, please join us sir. Also I request Atul Dikshit sir, please join us. I request Gate sir, please join us sir on the dais. I request Rupam Burman sir, sir please join us on the stage. I request Senthil Kumar, please join us on the dais. I request Professor Jaban Meher, please be on the dais, and also Professor Kamlakya Mehta, please join us. Vrindavan Sabu sir, please join us. चालू हो रहा है क्या? हम लोग करें यहाँ से। करो करो जिसका हो रहा है।
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to dear one. Happy birthday to you. From good friends and true. From old friends and new. May good luck go with you. And happiness too.
Please join us for tea outside the auditorium. Yeah, cake will be shared there itself, sir.